Well, hello Dartfish friends, it's the end of day one here in Croatia. And what an interesting day it's been at Look Barry. We had a very emotional start during shakedown, then the ceremonial start on Thursday. But this morning, the action got underway proper, and it was very much game face on, race face on, into the stages, Luke. And right from the opening stage, we kind of guessed it was going to be an interesting day.
We did, and if you watched the preview, you'd have heard our thoughts that we kind of had our money on Sebastian Ogier to win the front, and that's exactly what he was doing after the first stage. But an issue through it, and it's a very interesting case, it's through a compression where he reckoned actually being safe caused him a problem with his wheel and tyre that meant he had to stop and change it. So that's kind of put him out of the running and opened the door for everybody else to capitalise on Ogier's misfortune.
It was really, really, really unfortunate, and you'll see it in the video. He's maybe 2 tyre widths, away from the apex, being careful, not going into the cut. And he said that during the recce, that compression, that dip, that hole, whatever it was, had mud in it. So he didn't notice it. He didn't notice it, and he didn't note it. Really unfortunate for Ogier, but as you rightly say, it then opened the door up. We've got to say as well that in the same place, his teammate, Calin Rovanperä, also came to a little bit of a sticky, I was going to say a sticky end, it wasn't a sticky end, but had an issue as well.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much exactly the same problem, which is a very intriguing case for the pair of them in the same corner, but no issues on the second pass for either. I guess the jeopardy though for Toyota, sorry Colin, is just
My words!
Sorry, I keep doing it by accident.
I'm going to loan it to you.
You're going to loan it to me,
for the weekend.
Gratefully received for the weekend. But yeah, I guess the problem for Toyota this weekend is that they, given the circumstances of what's happened in the last week, they've only nominated 2 drivers to the Manufacturers' Championship, and guess who those 2 drivers were? Ogier and Rovanperä.
Yeah, really bad start to the weekend for Toyota in terms of their manufacturer challenge. But yeah, Ogier was really quick this morning. He won 3 out of the 4 stages, but the man that was leading at lunchtime and leads at the end of the day was Thierry Neuville. Now, interestingly, look, Neuville struggled this morning, but he had a 16-second lead. Seemed to find something this afternoon, but at the end of the day, his lead was less than 6 seconds. He was more comfortable, but the others got closer to him. It's interesting, isn't it, this situation where Neuville struggles to find the absolute limit with that car because it then seems to get a little unsteady, unpredictable for him. But he tends to drive through it.
He does. That's, I think the best word for Thierry Neuville is tenacious, isn't it? He will battle through anything that's in front of him. And as you say, it's an interesting thing, but it is a general thing with the Rally 1 cars, I feel. For most drivers now, they've got so much less they can do to these, and with the old World Rally cars with the active centre disc and everything. So finding the optimum setup is difficult, particularly when you compare first to second pass. They think they have an idea, but they don't know until they've gone into the actual stages. So it can make a difference.
It's that fine tuning, isn't it? That fine tuning that those other variables gave you that's no longer available. Yeah. So you have that situation where if it's not quite right, well, you're going to have to live with it, because we can't really find that absolute sweet spot that every single driver is always looking for. But, got to say, it's been a strong, strong day from Thierry Neuville. He is behind us there, but we caught up with him in the regroup a little earlier on. This is what he had to tell us.
First of all, very pleased with the result of the day. That has to be mentioned after the tough times of the last days. I think it's already a great reward also for the team members. But there's still a big job to do. So let's keep focused. It has been a tough day today. Tomorrow is going to be maybe even tougher. So yeah, we know what to do. We improved a little bit on the confidence with the car. But to be honest, I still feel like it's not 100%.
You've improved a little bit. It looks like Elvin's improved quite a lot. His pace this afternoon was really impressive. That could be quite a close battle tomorrow.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise, to be honest, because I knew that this morning the road conditions weren't that great for Elvin as well, running further back. And I expected him to be really fast this afternoon, but not only him, to be honest. And we could see much closer stage times this afternoon. We're a little bit behind most of the time, so we need to work on that for tomorrow.
So yeah, a really good day from Thierry Neuville. Second at the end of the day though, a really, really strong drive from Elvin Evans today. Look, what did you make of Evans out there?
Well, we were having a debate about this when we came back to service, and you wondered if it was possibly even his best loop of stages in a Rally 1 car, and to be honest, I'm struggling to think of one that's impressive. As you say, he took a 16-second lead down to, I think, 5.7, so it's an incredible turnaround for the afternoon. It's weird to say that the driver in second is almost been more impressive than the guy in first, but we probably expected this of Neuville. But Evans down in fifth on the road where things are more difficult. Incredible day, I have to say.
I think that's the point. The point is that Evans this morning did really well to contain that gap to 16 seconds, because it was really quite astonishing just how quickly the road deteriorated. The second car on the road was Neuville. It was reasonably bad. By the time you got down to Evans, fifth on the road, it was awful in places. And Neuville benefited from that in the morning, and then, obviously with the equal conditions in the afternoon, Evans was able to really eat into that lead. I thought he was strong, he was confident, he looked and sounded far more like the Evans that we've wanted to see really for the last year and a half.
Yeah, no, I have to say, we mentioned it in Mexico as well. Obviously, he lost out on second in the final day, but that was really, really unlucky. But he just looks very assured of himself, comfortable with the machine he's got. So, yeah, bring on tomorrow for that battle.
Well, tomorrow is yet another Neuville-Elfyn Evans battle. Here's what Elfyn Evans had to say to us a little earlier. How encouraging is it? Obviously, your road position didn't help this morning. You're 16 down, even, and you've made up 10 seconds on him. That's massively encouraging ahead of tomorrow.
Yeah, it's encouraging. Of course, we had a slightly different tyre strategy. I think we made the correct one in the end, even if I was a little bit punchy, But overall, it's been a good afternoon. But of course, it'll be equal playing field in terms of road position tomorrow. I think perhaps this morning it was definitely an advantage to be further back. Maybe it was drying a bit, further down the road today. This afternoon. So let's see what tomorrow brings.
So that battle at the front tomorrow, less than 6 seconds separating Elfyn Evans from Thierry Neuville. Can't wait to see how that one pans out. But we have to look as well at the battle for third place. They're a long way off our two leaders, but Tanak and a resurgent Esa-Pekka Lappi. He's another one. Let's start with Lappi, because he's a really strong day out there.
Yeah, I have to say, on shakedown yesterday, he looked a little bit sort of, obviously the events of the weekend, and he rightfully said everybody deals with it differently, but it did look like it was weighing on his shoulders, perhaps more than others, but he has responded greatly today. Not the fastest start, but he's built himself up, got that stage win on stage 6, quite happy with the fact he didn't take wets, because he felt it made him look stupid that he didn't, but actually the way it worked out with the stage, it was great, and he almost seemed not that interested in the battle with Tanak. I don't believe
No, I don't
that's
believe
the case.
that either. Look, it's really important for the manufacturers, if nothing else. Listen, you say it wasn't the fastest of starts. I think it was an intelligent start from Esa-Pekka out there. He had a pretty torrid time in Monte Carlo, and he's maybe not quite so comfortable on the tarmac. Obviously, we saw that emotion yesterday. He was badly, as everyone was, but he showed that emotion perhaps more than others did around the service park. I think he absolutely got it right out there today with his approach. Dial himself in, build his confidence, build his pace, and that's what he did.
Yeah, and we love to see a happy Lappi at the end of the day. We like to see happy drivers.
Happy Lappi, we all love a happy Lappi.
He's made that up on the spot as well. Who knew there'd be a song with Colin Clark? It's the first of everything.
Who knew? I tell you who loved that song? Our friend Craig. He loved it. We sang so much together, we really did. Great stuff from Esa-Pekka Lappi. But the man who he will be battling with tomorrow is Tanak. Tanak had his fair share of issues out there today.
Yeah, started off with a steering problem in the morning, which it's hard to tell really where that came from, because he was insistent it wasn't a fluid leak or anything, but they changed pretty much the entire steering system in service, and that problem seems to have gone away. But
no mention of it in the afternoon.
No.
Very good.
And then we had a bit of an issue with tyres in the afternoon. Stage Lappi 1, he took wets, acting on the information that he thought was going to be wet, and then the sun came out and the stage was quite dry.
Well, let's hear what you had to say about that, actually. This is Tanak talking a little earlier.
I mean, the thinking itself was not so wrong, actually, from the information we had. Let's say, I believe the radar was showing that from kilometer 4 it was the clouds were increasing, and we were expecting rain already quite early on in the stage. And actually, when we were in the stage, it was the place where it started to get sunny, so it didn't really work out. And obviously, it was a very long stage with wet tires and quite dry condition.
I was going to say sometimes you need to take gambles, particularly when maybe the car's not to your liking, but did you feel that was a gamble at the time?
It was hard to say because the information was quite limited and we had quite a short time to make the decision. So the message from the team was that we should go for the wets and we went, and obviously it didn't work out. But from the other side, it was also not like a massive disaster. So we are still there.
I guess when we look at the positives, the pace of the car looks good out there. Looks good when things are going well for you.
We are coming slowly for sure. Many things we are not happy yet, where we should be, but compare where we were in Monte on the Armac, and now at least we can do some time. So step by step it's coming, and let's say quite a bit of list still go through. So yeah, I'm sure we haven't seen a full potential of the car yet, so it should be coming.
Better luck tomorrow out.
Thank you.
So that's our top three at the end of day one here. It has been a fascinating day. That weather, it threatened to cause a little bit of chaos out there, and it didn't really, did it? But there was enough just to keep us really interested all day.
Yep, I'm going to borrow the word again that you've loaned me, just because while I have it in my possession, I might as well take it. The jeopardy wasn't quite as much as maybe we'd want, but it was more than if it was bone dry. And I think tomorrow we expect it to be quite dry, but we said the same thing about today as well. The weather here, when you go up into the mountains, and just in general, that you can see even the sky tonight, it's clouds are around. So we just don't know, and we know how difficult these stages are anyway before you add in the additional difficult weather. So
yeah, listen, tomorrow's stages, it's a shorter day tomorrow, but they are really tricky stages, that's for sure. They get very messy, they're very broken, bumpy. There's an awful lot out there to be aware of tomorrow. I think it could be yet another wonderful day, particularly when we have those battles at the front to look forward to. Folks, a tough day for everyone again here in Croatia, but fair play to all our teams and our drivers who managed to really put everything into their driving and the competition today. It was very, very impressive indeed. Luke, what are you looking forward to about tomorrow?
it has to be the battle for the front and for the lead. It's the obvious answer, but with 5.7 seconds there, it could go either way. And as you say, the battle for third as well. So there's everywhere. There's jeopardy everywhere, and I've used it again. But even Ogier's fight back, he's over a minute down, but he's Sebastian Ogier. So
you know when you lend your little brother, your favourite shirt, t-shirt, whatever, and he then abuses it and overuses it. I feel as if you're kind of maybe on that point with my words.
Well, I feel like it's potentially maybe now loaned for the day, not the weekend. But
he's got it for the weekend. Folks, I'm really looking forward to seeing Luke doing a little bit of navigating tomorrow, because he hasn't done any today. He really hasn't. It has been a really, really good day of competition out here in Croatia today. We all look forward to tomorrow. Folks, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow.